What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to be taking a little bit of a look at a lovely new Transformers card. You see, the lovely Matthew Brower, he of the YouTube channel Nanomachines, has gone and shown us Autobot Gears. Very lovely person, one of the best people in the community as far as I'm concerned. Make sure you give him some love. Go check out the YouTube channel, really good video, so yeah. Go and do it. Okay, I haven't actually watched the video yet because I didn't want my analysis to be clouded by his, but you have my word that when I finish doing this, I'm going to go watch it, and I feel extremely confident that it will be good because I've seen his videos on reveals before, and they've always been good. But Autobot Gears then, what do we got? Well, we've got a 7-card actual character. It's not a Titan Master. It's not a Combiner. It's an actual, factual character, like we used to get in the good old days. Stats wise, it's slightly lower than we might like, but it is a 7-star character. 10 health is not particularly great. Attack of 3 or 4 is not particularly great. Defensive 2 or 3, I'll give you this, right? Defensive 3 is actually pretty good, especially for a 7-cost character, so at least we've got that going for us. We've also got a specialist truck, so that can give us some fun. More on that in a moment. But starting off then, let's have a little bit of a look at the skills. And when you flip to bot mode, return an upgrade on an enemy to its owner's hand. Oh, cool. That's really nice. That can be huge. Now, the number one best use for this, and I stand by this is the best use, energy pack. Or any upgrade that increases your health. There are a couple. Energy Pack gives you plus 4 health, just so long as you've got 11 stars or more. Yes, I'm biased because I revealed the card. No, I'm not even a little bit sorry. You see, we saw this winning the Energon Invitational with Optimus Prime. And essentially, this is a really fun one because your opponent might have this on, and that's the only thing keeping it alive. So if we look at, I don't know, Wave 4 General Optimus Prime, given that that was the deck that won the Energon Invitational, what we see here is a character that rocks up with 21 health, which is very high. But let's say, for argument's sake, they've got 22 damage on. Yeah, see where we're going with this? If they've got 22 damage on, then the only thing keeping them alive is the energy pack. So you get rid of their energy pack and they get instantly KO'd in the middle of a turn. But the thing is, you can just always use this during your turn. So you can use it to get rid of an energy pack and then win, or you can use it to get rid of a force field so that you can do more than 4 damage, or you can use it to get rid of an energized spike so you don't have to take damage when you attack, or electrified spikes as it's actually called. Anything that you do not want on your opponent's Transformer when you go to attack, this will get rid of. Whether it's an armor, or something that's going to hurt you, or even if it's just something like an Energon Axe, because you don't want them having extra attack and pierce next turn. The problem with getting rid of something like a weapon is that it's actually going to be useful on their turn, so they can just reattach it. The one thing you really need to avoid with this is something like an armed hovercraft, because armed hovercraft, when it's attached, does 1 damage to each enemy character, and you don't want to let them reattach it over and over again. Of course, if you want the super pro move here, what you can do is put it in their hand, and then immediately drop a security checkpoint, so that everyone reveals their hand and scraps all upgrades, so they can't then just reattach it. Because remember, all you're doing is returning it to their hand. They can just reattach it. Hopefully they won't. Moving over into alt mode, when you flip to this mode, you move an upgrade from an enemy to another enemy. Cool. Now, a lot of the time here, this is going to be just slightly worse than the bot mode skill. Remember, this isn't Pokemon. You can attach as many upgrades as you like, and you can just add a new one over the old one and it gets discarded. This is not a game where you've got to think about your upgrades because you cannot attach one instead. If you've got the wrong weapon, you just put a new weapon on and scrap it. Some games you can't. This game you absolutely can. Cool. But there are still some really fun things that you can do with this. Again, you can only do it if your opponent are playing these upgrades, but there are some really fun things you can do. So let's say one of your opponent's characters has an Erratic Lightning. Erratic Lightning is very important because although it gives them +3 attack, it gives them -1 defense. Now you are giving them +3 attack and that could be a little bit scary, but they also get -1 defense, so hopefully you can KO them right now. Or maybe you know they're going to attack, and you know they're going to KO, so you give them a Static Laser of Ironhide. Static Laser of Ironhide is a very nice one. It gives them +3 attack, but if you're going to get a KO anyway, that's fine. But if the character that is an Ironhide attacks, they take 2 damage. So you can put this on a character you know is going to get a KO, so that you force them to take 2 damage. Or you can do something like take a Matrix of Leadership and move it to a non-leader, so they still get the +1 attack, but their other characters don't get +1 attack and Pierce 1. Remember, when you move upgrades, any when you attach abilities will trigger, so something like an Armed Hovercraft will still trigger if you move it. Don't move it. Don't help your opponent out. So there are some really fun little niche plays you can do with this. It's a kind of character you need to watch the board because fun little plays will present themselves, but a lot of the time it's just going to be moving a weapon to a character that's less good at attacking, moving an armor off right before you defend, etc. Of course, what you can do here, if you know you're going to get a KO, is move an upgrade to the character and then KO it, which is akin to just removing the upgrade from the game. That is going to be one of the more common good uses for this. Just move the upgrade onto a character that you're about to KO, which is just the same as removing it, well, putting it in the discard pile anyway, the scrap pile. So that's quite nice. It is an anti-upgrade character. It's what it does. The stats are fine, you're kind of cheap, but you get rid of a bunch of upgrades. Except that's not all of it, because you see, actually got his own stratagem. Sabotage. Now, some of you may have noticed that Autobot Gears is an Autobot, yet its stratagem is a Decepticon card, like a full-on Decepticon card with the logo behind it and everything. And I could explain this to you, but it is actually a reference to Changing Gears, a Generation 1 episode, and Matthew Brower does break it down in the video, and I did say you should go click his video, so I'm going to leave that for him to explain. Make sure you click his video, please. But what does Sabotage do? That I can explain. While you have Autobot Gears, Transport and Reconnaissance on the battlefield, enemies being upgraded can't use abilities of your opponent's cards to trigger. Now, the important thing to note here is it says can't cause abilities of your opponent's cards to trigger. So it's not just turning off the triggers of the upgrades, it is turning off the triggers of the characters as well. So something like the aforementioned Armed Hovercraft actually won't do that extra damage. Anything when you attach this to a character, nope. When this character gets so-and-so attached, nope. If attaching an upgrade would trigger an ability, gutted. Enemies being upgraded cannot cause abilities of your opponent's cards to trigger. Ouch. And that, it's a great card because it's not just stopping a bunch of stuff now, it's stopping a bunch of stuff in the future. Now, of course, my favourite use for this is Sergeant Cog and its upgrade mode Heavy Force Defense Breaker Cannon, just because it's such a ridiculous set of skills where you attach multiple upgrades and draw a bunch of cards. You don't get any of that, which is sad because it's an ability that triggers when you upgrade a character. So, gutted. It's a kind of thing that's going to have so many uses. Now, it does cost a star. So far, we've only seen 1-star stratagems. So you are going to have to make the decision as to whether you think this is good enough or not. Frankly, ladies and gentlemen, I do. I think this is really cool. But as with everything, it's down to your meta. If there's no abilities on cards that you're worried about triggering, then is it really worth the star? And if you're rocking a 24-star deck, probably. But if you really want a 25-star deck and you're not that worried about abilities triggering when enemies are upgraded, I reckon we probably stop it there. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen, Autobot Gears. It does not like upgrades. I think that's pretty safe to say. But at this stage, I would like to know what you think about it. So let me know in the comments section. Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, where we talk Transformers and a whole bunch of other games. And do please consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all that fun stuff. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.